Please, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Dr. Sangram Dey is an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Sikkim, India. He has more than 15 years of teaching and research experience and more than 10 years of administrative experience in various capacities, including Dean, Head of the Department, Member of Board of Governors, Member of Senate, Faculty in charge of Training and Placement Cell, Faculty in charge of ICT Infrastructure, Faculty in charge of Alumni Affairs, etc. He has obtained MTech and PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Dhanbad, India. He had secured All India rank of 49 in GATE in the year 2006. His research area includes cryptography and information security, elliptic card cryptography, content-centric network, Internet of Things, cyber security, blockchain technology, etc. 6 candidates have been awarded PhD degree in computer science and engineering, and 1 postdoctoral fellow has completed her tenure under his sole supervision. At present, he is supervising 4 PhD candidates as a sole supervisor and 2 PhD candidates as a joint supervisor. He has published more than 80 research papers in SCI Index international journals, conference of reputed book chapters, etc., and received several best paper awards in international conferences. He has delivered around 100 keynote lectures, development programs, etc. Dr. Dey has acted as a member of advisory committee, technical committee, program committee, session chair, etc. in more than 100 international and national conferences, seminars, workshops, etc. He is a reviewer of around 50 international and national journals published by IEEE, Springer, Elsevier, Wiley, CSI, ITTE, ACM, Harvard, etc. He has been granted external funding of more than rupees 1.5 crore for R&D projects, FDPs, etc. Currently, he is the chief advisor of one of R&D project costing rupees 70 lakhs funded by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, and co-PI of another R&D project costing rupees 30 lakhs funded by the IBITF DST, Government of India. He is also actively involved as the external expert reviewer for MTech and PhD thesis evaluation of reputed universities and institutes. He is a fellow of IETE, senior member of IEEE, member of ACM, and life member of CSI, ISTE, ISCA, IEE, IEI, IAENG, ISCSIT, and chapter leader of CSTA India. He is also the editorial board member of international journals such as Discover Computing by Springer and Scientific Report by Nature, etc. He is selected as prestigious ACM India's eminent speaker and recognized as the 2024 highly ranked scholar among top 0.5% of scholars worldwide in cybersecurity by scholar GPS. Today, he will discuss about
on data security.
I missed it. Sorry, sir. Please, sir.
Hello. Hello.
So, a very good afternoon to all of you. Hope you people have enjoyed the lunch. And since the station is already late, so I will not cover that much what I planned, but we'll try to finish in time. So before beginning our presentation, I must congratulate the organizing team for organizing such a nice program, and also must be thankful to the audience or participants who have managed their teams and handling this program, and above all the administration of this college who is supporting to organize such a nice program for the beneficial of the faculty members and the societies. So, before presentation, so as requested by the organization committee, the title of my today's talk is on data security. So basically, what I heard that the audience is the combinations of several disciplines, right? Several disciplines, not only the computer science background. So starting, I will just discuss here from the basics. I hope it will be clear to all of you. And if it is anyone you feel that it is not clear, you are open to ask me. So before we, as the title suggested, it's the data security challenges and evolving solutions. So before entering the topic, the title is clearly indicated that we are focusing the data security. So in our digital domain, basically what we are doing, now we are storing our data in the cyberspace, and for which purpose we are storing? Now for the efficient access, managing, retrieval or storage of the data. So that is the basic things. That is clear to all of you. This is the digital domain. Several initiatives by Government of India is also has been taken, digital initiatives and other initiatives, so that day by day we are moving towards the automation and removing the physical burden of the accessing of the data. So we are storing the data for which purposes? To minimize our burden and to provide the easy access to the all users of the data. So that's why we are storing that the the data in our cyberspace, and whenever we are storing our data, then security is the biggest challenge. Why security is the biggest challenge? So that is our basic things. Whenever we are keeping some information, or maybe in our day-to-day life, whenever we are storing some information, so always security is a major concern. Security is a major concern. If we have some valuable ornaments, gold, so we are keeping them safe and secure. Similarly, each and everything, security is a major concern. Whenever we are leaving the home, we are just locking our houses. So that's why whenever we are keeping our data in our digital domain, in cyberspace, so that time also security is a major concern. Why? The unauthorized access of the data or illegal utilizations of the data. So to avoid those things, we must have to be well aware about the data security. So here just I will give you that what is the importance of the data security, what are the issues it will face for safe and secure storage of the data, and what are the caution we have to take whenever we are storing or accessing the data through internet. Everything is in digital domain. So before initiating, we must have to know in my talk. So here the first I will cover that what is cyber, means where we are storing the data and what are the devices we are using. Then what is cyber security or data security, how we can provide the data security. And next, what are the security problems and different cyber crimes may be possible to access or misuse of the data. Next, what are the possible technological aspects by which we can implement and maintain the data security. And finally, some basics awareness that what we should do, what we should not do in digital era. Thank you. So first thing is that what is cyber? It's a combining form of information technology, the internet and the virtual reality. Basically, it carries the connotations of relationship with modern computing and technology. It is a metaphor for describing the non-physical terrain created by computer systems. So we are storing our data, and that data are stored in any digital devices, and using the internet we are accessing those data. So this is those infrastructure combinedly we may think for the storage or data getting transmitted through here. So basically that scenario we may consider as a cyber. Now to provide, now next thing is what is cyber security? Very simple thing, cyber security. But we are not getting the proper answer that what should be a cyber security. So it's the protection of digital information, means data. Protection of digital information against what? Now unauthorized disclosure, transfer, modification or destruction. All kinds are possible. Disclosure is possible, transfer is also possible, modification is also possible, and intentionally destruction is also possible. Whether it may be accidental or intentional. Accidental also could be a threat to the cyber security. Intentional, obviously. So from here we can conclude the cyber security to provide the security to the cyberspace. Cyberspace means combinations of all those things. The devices, the data which one you are storing, all those things you have to take care of. Now, cyberspace security is played, there is the combinations of the information systems and the networks. That means we can get the cyber security is the security of information systems and networks. Now what security means? goal to provide the security here. Now with the goal of protecting operations and assets. Two things here, protecting operations and the assets. Assets is what? Your data that is stored. So data is also, and the device in which data stored. So that is, and operations. Operations that means the access of the data, retrieval of the data, because the storage of the data is not your aim. Your aim is the safety storage of the data for what? For easy access. Unless until easy access has been provided, nobody will use that systems. So operations also you have to maintain, protecting the operations means during transmission of the data there should not be any kinds of cyber crimes. During storage of the data there should not be any kinds of cyber crimes. So with the goal of protecting operations and assets. So if we add this phrase also, we will get cyber security is the security of information systems and networks with the goal of protecting operations and assets. Now what security stands for here? In the case of attacks, what is attacks? I will come later. Accidents and failure. So any things may happen. So we are providing the security in the face of attacks, accidents and failure. I hope it is clear and easy understandable to all of you. So cyber security, we can conclude here the security of information systems and networks in the face of attacks, accidents and failures with the goal of protecting operations and assets. Next, we will again extend it in the terms of technical way. So here, security representing three important terms in data security domain. That is availability of the data, integrity of the data during transmission, and secrecy of the data during storage and transmission. So data availability, data integrity and data secrecy. Data availability means during storage data should be available, integrity during transmission data integrity should be preserved, and data secrecy during storage and transmission. Both times data should be secure. So if we will consider, so security here representing these three important technical terms in the cyber security domain. So the conclusion, final conclusion should be that availability, integrity and secrecy of information systems and networks in the case of attacks, accidents and failures with the goal of protecting operations and assets. So that's the cyber security. So still we are including these three only, availability, integrity and secrecy. I am preparing it still a work in progress. So time to time as per our requirement, as per our modification will be done and the definition may get further extended. So this is you may consider as a complete definitions of the cyber security in the definition. Now next thing is why cyber awareness is important. To prevent breaches and attacks, several kinds of cyber attacks will come next. To build a culture of security among all kinds of users of any kinds of information systems, to make technological defense more robust, to boost up customers' confidence in digitalization. Still now we are working here. Still we have not achieved the 100% confidence from our customer sides. To be socially responsible and to improve the well-being of the citizens. Digital India concept aims to further improvement of the well-being citizens. So whenever the Digital India concept is coming, at the same time parallelly the cyber security concept is also coming. The main topic is that to improve the well-being of the citizens. Next, what are the security problems? Means what kinds of cyber crimes may happen, and we must have to be well aware. And there should be some basic concepts that if I will do this thing, these attacks may be possible. And in which way the attacks are executing in your systems, what can be done. So we must have to be well aware. So here I have just listed what is cyber crime. First we have to be known. A crime involving computers and networks. See, your data is stored in computers or in digital devices. So, and that is getting transferred or communicated through internet network. So both a crime involving computers and networks, and it includes both monetary and non-monetary offences. Sometimes monetary offences, sometimes non-monetary offences, and the aim is to disturb your systems, to disturb your network, so that nobody will use your systems, and the alternate service providers will come in front of you, and they will provide the alternate solutions, and users will be, or customers will be directed to that service provider. So that's why both could be possible. There are several examples. Those whatever we are facing day by day, stealing and misusing sensitive personal information like Aadhaar details, debit card details, bank account credentials. If people are receiving several phone calls for asking for Aadhaar number, for updating your KYC documents, etc. So the main target is to gather your personal information so that that can be used later to execute the cyber attacks. Defamation of an individual on social media. To defame. Matrimonial frauds, very common nowadays. Just representing or impersonating other people's and asking for marriage request or anything else. Job-related frauds. You are getting several newspapers, take appointment by railway board, etc., etc. So that could be possible. Sexual abuse is also there. Copyright infringement. This is very, very important for faculty members. Copyright infringement. There is the ethics that whenever we are following or quoting any content, any sentence, and if that sentence is increasing more than 3 or 4 words, always remember you must have to cite the content from where you are taking it. We are normally not serious on that matter, but you may think that that is a line of thing. So you should always cite that thing. Being an academician, that is responsibility. Whenever you are preparing any kinds of, even if you are providing a class notes, to the students, you must have to quote it. At the beginning, if the all content is coming from a summarization of a book, at the beginning you must have to acknowledge that this is the content has been taken from this book. Otherwise, you will be in a big trouble if the copyright owner and claiming that you are just copying the content from his. So you will be in trouble. So copyright infringement, that also could be a way. Now what are the root causes of the cybercrime? First thing is that inadequate training in cyber awareness. That is very, very important cause. Inadequate training in cyber awareness. For example, I may pick that suppose we people are using the ATM card and PIN number, right? And each and every customer, suppose SBI, State Bank of India, now is the biggest bank of India. So it has several customers, and due to the several government policies, maximum people now have an account in SBI. Maximum people, or maybe other banks also, but maximum people have an account in SBI. What kinds of government initiatives? Several Monrega or several point-to-point transfer, etc. So several issues are there. And Bank of India or State Bank of India, they are opening the zero balance account. Now, to get the advantages of the online systems, the Digital India concept, so they are just issuing the ATM card and PIN number or identity password. They are issuing. But, and instructing them just use it. Now, in people who is not very strong or who don't know or have not any idea that how to use the ATM card in ATM machine, so what he will do? He will obviously ask for the other person to provide the help or to help him to withdraw the money. But that is the biggest loophole. In the agreement between the customers and the bank, whatever we are just giving the thing and move forward. So there it is clearly written that bank is bounded to train the customers. or safe withdrawal through ATM card or access of the online banking, etc. But that is never done. Never done. So that's why inadequate training in cyber awareness is there. So the attacker are telling just misusing that gap, and that's why they are standing beside the ATM machine. However, some people who is not literally strong, so just entering, he is taking the help. At that time, every information is exposed. Even the people is telling his secret pin number. So that's why it's the biggest gap. And at the same time, whenever the leaflet you are receiving, the leaflet, it is always found that that content is written either in Hindi or English. You will see either Hindi or English. So suppose in Bengal, so maximum people are not well aware, not fluent in English or Hindi. So that leaflet is in English. That leaflet is totally in English. If he wish to read, he will not be able to read. Although there is each and every instruction, each and every pre-questions have been written. So that is the biggest gap there. Next is the ineffective software management. So always software is not getting updated. Quick privilege access controls. That is very important. Access control should be strict. Means you have to fix that which data is accessible for which people. And there should be strong security. That you can't reach beyond that level. And unmonitored detection systems. If any kinds of attack has been tried to execute it, so that should be easily detected. So that is also not there. So these are the basically the main root causes of cyber crimes. And these are the some of the leading threats which are normally faced by our systems. That is virus, worms, malwares, phishing or spamming, Trojan horse and logic bombs, social engineering, denial of service attacks, SQL injections, password cracking, rootkits, spoofing, botnet attacks. So these are the very common. I am just discussing here one by one. The small discussion. So first one is the computer virus. It implies vital information issues of the sys. It can cause computer crashes and loss of data. A virus attaches itself to a program, file or disk, and when the program is getting executed, the virus activates and replicates itself. The virus is malignant and executes its payload upon contact. So always be aware whenever you are clicking on any kinds of attachments or link sent by any unknown sender. So at first be sure that whether you may authenticate or identify the sender, and then only you should click it. Otherwise, your computer will be get infected. It's an independent program, computer ROMs, and it do not require any user interaction to be activated and sends copies from computer to computer across network connection, and it will spread fast. Next, malware, that is the malicious software. There are several kinds of malware you may get. Malicious software. Several kinds of, that is the spyware that runs secretly on a computer to report back to a remote user. It disrupts device operations, targets sensitive information of the user, and grants remote access to predators. The ransomware It's gain access to sensitive information within a system, demands a financial payout for the data to be released, and the adword used to collect data on computer images, redirect the web browser automatically to unsafe websites, and slows down the computer system noticeably. So these are the several kinds of malware. Next, very important thing is the phishing attacks. It's normally we are frequently faced these attacks. What is that? Now it's the practice of sending or communications that appear to come from a reputable source. It's an illegal act to steal sensitive data by sending them a link. So here, what happened? Suppose you were typing the online SBI websites. So whenever you are typing the online SBI websites, it will automatically redirect to the fake but identical websites, same type of websites. So what you will assume that you are accessing the original websites, and you will provide your identity and password. Whenever you will provide the identity and password, so that will be stored as this data to the attacker. So fake websites, instead of original websites, you will get the fake websites. You will get the fake websites, and then in that fake website, you will provide your data, and that data will be stored in that. So this link will come through any kinds of phishing email or etc. And whenever you are linking, that is working in the background. Whenever you are typing the online SBI, so it will automatically converted to move to the fake website. And later on, this database will be used by the attacker to input those identity and password to the original website. So that is the phishing attacks. Next is spamming attacks. It's sending out email messages in bulk. It's in electronic junk mail. Spamming can leave the information system vulnerable to overload. Its main target is to overload the system, so that system will be getting slowed down and it will not provide you the response in the right time. Next, Trojan horse, that is activated when the software or attachment is getting executed. This is also coming through your email. So software or attachment is getting executed. It arrives by email or software like free games, etc. Whatever the openly available we are installing. It releases the virus, monitors computer activities, and installs backdoor or transmits the information to the attacker. Next, social engineering. This manipulates people in the social media into performing actions or divulging confidential information. Sometimes we are sharing each and everything. Each and everything we are sharing our social media. So what is done? So based on that, attacker can assume, can have some concept on that users. Suppose like a thief. A thief is to enter your home. So what he will do? Now he will always try to know that when your house will be totally vacant, remain vacant. So for that purpose, what he will do? He is just noticing or monitoring your Facebook page in the Facebook. And suppose what happened? Suppose the main target of the thief is to enter in your house. So what he will do? Now he will just monitor your Facebook activity. And our common practice is what? Whenever I am leaving for the vacations, I am just giving a social media post. They traveling to and enjoying the holiday or traveling to here and there, doing this, and putting a group photo, family photo. So what we are giving? Now we are providing the message to the thief that my house is now vacant. You are welcome. Isn't it? So So that kinds of an example of social engineering attacks. So any kinds of any things, whatever we are providing, so the attacker will target it based on the data available through the social media and will execute their attack. Several kinds of possible based on your requirement. He can represent, can impersonate other people. So these are normally we are facing. Next very important thing is the denial of service attack. What is that? That a hacker compromises a system and uses that system to attack the target computer by flooding it with more requests for services than the target can handle. In a distributed denial service attacks, hundreds of computers are compromised, loaded with DOS attack software, and then remotely activated by the hacker. So for each and every system, there should be a limitations that how much response it can give in a particular time. Whenever the request received by the systems will be more than that, so the system will be in idle state and will stop responding. So you will not get the service from the systems. For example, maybe you will have been noticed that suppose that the IRCTC websites we have, everyone are using to book the tickets. Always, if you are trying to book the local tickets, you may face that time the system is very slow. But the other time, whenever you are booking the tickets, that time that is fast. Why that is getting slowed down? Because at 10 a.m. or at 11 a.m., the request received by the IRCTC website server is maximum. Because everybody is trying to book the ticket at 10 a.m. only. Otherwise, you will not get the tickets. So maximum logins are there at that time. So there should be a limit to response by the IRCTC websites. So whenever it will be more than that, so it will stop with you. So that's why we are saying that we are not getting our tickets booked. So that's why day by day, whenever the budget has been announced, you are just listening that the response number of requests is getting increased by IRCTC websites. But still then that is not sufficient for a particular time. So this is a kind of example. So whatever the server where the data is stored or safely kept, so if that is receiving the request beyond its limits, so it will stop to give you the response. So what is the achievement by the attacker then? The attacker's achievement is that then the customer should not use the server. Now, main thing is that we are not accepting or using that server which are not responsive, and we will choose the alternative one. So that's why the target is to execute the denial of service attack so that the users will not access that particular websites and will go for the alternative. So the attacker is working for somebody else or some purpose is there, and it will get some alternative options and will use that one. SQL injection attacks, it is also a way to fetch your identity and passwords. It's also a way of attack. Next, password taking attacks. Whatever the passwords you are using, that also can be cracked by the attackers. One of the common approach is that brute force attacks. Brute force attacks is repeatedly applying some combinations of attacks. Always whenever you are creating any password for a particular website, you are always receiving the request or instructions. Then password should be more lengthy. Password should be combinations of different characters, numeric values, special characters, etc. Why? The reason is to stop the brute force attacks. If we will use the ABC@123, that is very common to crack it. Or your first name, last name @this, very common. So that's why it is always advisable not to use your date of birth, because it is obviously open. Somehow you are exposing. So password should be which you are not using in common words or in common time. So that will never come from your mouth. So that should be password and that should be lengthy. Why lengthy? Whatever the the higher length, then the number of bits length will be higher, so it will be very difficult to track it. Rootkit attack is also malicious software bundled designed to give unauthorized access to a computer or other softwares. It's hard to detect. It can conceal their presence within the encrypted system and can install it after having obtained the root or administrative access. So its main target is to obtain the root or administrative access. Spoofing attack, an act of disguising communications from an unauthorized source appears to be known trusted source. So basically it can come in through email, phone calls, impersonally. Sometimes you are receiving the calls. Hello, I am calling from this bank. I am the bank manager. So the attacker is impersonating to the original bank manager and asking you for your credentials. Similarly, you will receive the phone calls. He is telling that I am your close friend. Whatever your close friend's name, he is just using that information and asking for some monetary help due to his child is getting admitted in hospitals, operations purposes, etc. So sometimes what happens, we are getting very early and we are just providing and sending the money through Google Pay or Phone Pay, etc. So these are the types of spoofing attacks or impersonation attacks. What they do is a computer program that automatically performs a repetitive malicious task and is multiplied that program by 2 or more given coordinates. Its main target is to steal financial and personal information, to attack legitimate web services, to exert money for the victims, and to make money from jobs and political systems. So this is also a very common attack. And next is to execute all those kinds of attacks. These are the threats. To execute, there is a difference between the attacks and threats. Threats will create the cause and attack will be executed after that. If any of these are fulfilled, then only you are providing the environment to execute an attack. So first one is that act of human error or failure, that is accident and mistakes. Whatever the information, request, email, OTP, messages you are receiving from bank personals or banking authorities, then don't share your PIN, don't share your don't share your OTP or passwords with others, but still then whenever you are receiving any phone call, please your ATM is blocked, please provide your OTP to unblock it, otherwise your account will be locked. But that is our act of human error or failure. So immediately we are providing our OTP, and then later on we realize that we are the victims, I am the victim of that attack. So that's why bank personals are always saying that whenever you are providing any kinds of information, pretending that he is the genuine bank personal, please remember, don't communicate in online mode or through phone. Either bank personal will be in front of you or you will be in front of the bank. So physical presence is mandatory before sharing your any kinds of secret information. Even a copy of the Aadhaar, copy of the PAN, your photographs, your signatures, etc. So please don't share your information. So that is the main thing, act of human errors or failure. And also taking the help in ATM. So these kinds of other several errors we are doing. So that's why we are becoming the victims. There is no role of the systems. Systems never do the mistakes unless any accidental failure has been happened. So that is due to the human. Compromises of intellectual property, that is violation, copyright infringement, acts of appearance or trespass, that is the unauthorized access and the data collections. Any kinds of data collection, so whatever data is transmitting, so attacker can get it collected and based on that he can imagine that what kind of information are getting changed. Act of sabotage or vandalism, that is destruction of any systems of information. Any kinds of software attacks through viruses, ROMs. Forces of nature, that is also a type of threat. So always you have to keep your data backup. Quality of service deviation from service provider. Technical or hardware failures or errors. So any kinds of your hardware may be in that not working stage. So you always keep have to data backup. Technically, software failures is also possible, and technological obsolescence. So you have to always update your technology. Whatever the software you are using, you have to always get it updated to be remain well protected from the cyber attacks. So these are the possible information security threats. Now, to stop all those kinds of cyber attacks, what means in which way we can implement and maintain the security of the data. So this is some basic concept is also there, some technical concept is also there. So first we have to know that why we need it, and an organization needs information security for the four important reasons. What are that? Suppose this is the college. This college needs to keep its data safe and secure. Why? That to protect the organization's ability to function. Several confidential information is there, which the competitor will get, then they can misuse the information. To enable the safe operations of applications implemented on the organizational IT systems, self-explanatory. To protect the data the organizations collects and uses, and to safeguard the technology assets in use at the organizations. So that's why we need the security of the data stored in the cyberspace. What are the security goals? The goals is that tools such as policy, awareness, training, education, and technology are necessary for the successful applications of data security or information security. So that's why the National Security Telecommunications and Information System Security Committee modeled the information security as the CIA triangle, and these are normally represented in a triangular form, CIA triangle, where C stands for data confidentiality, I stands for data integrity, and A stands for data availability. So these are the three major pillars of data security. To provide the full data security, we need these three things. We have to maintain these three things: data confidentiality, data integrity, and data availability. Now, what data confidentiality? Here, whenever we are exchanging the data between two devices, so that time data should be transmitted in a secure way. Why? Please remember, the network system, whatever we are using, that is open to all. Whatever the data is getting transmitted through network, anybody can see. So you may think about it like a highway or road connectivity. If a people is walking through the road, you can easily see that who is traveling, right? Who is traveling. Or if a car is going through the road, you can easily see the people who is sitting inside the car. You can see the people is traveling. So the network is totally open to all. Whatever is getting transmitted, everybody can see. So how we will maintain the data confidentiality? Suppose the people who is sitting inside the car, he wish to hide himself. Or you may see that whenever there are some VIP people are going, so they are hiding themselves. So how? Just picking up or closing the windows, glasses, or if there is a curtain is there, window curtain they are using, so to hide himself. Otherwise, he will be exposed to all. The same way is maintained in our digital systems also. Network is open to all. If you are transmitting a data, that data will be shown to everyone. So what we should do? We have to cover up ourselves, or we have to transmit it ourselves in other manner. What is that? Now that is called the ciphertext or hidden text. Ciphertext. What is that? Now, whatever the data, that is the plain text. So on that, we will apply some mathematical algorithms, mathematical process, by which we will get a meaningless content. The sentence will be converted to the meaningless content. Suppose your name. Suppose my name is Sangram. My name is written here Sangram. If I will apply an algorithm just to, instead of reading from this portion to, just A will be start from here, then A, then R, then G, then A, then S. Will it be meaningful? No. So that is converted to a meaningless data. And if it is getting transmitted, nobody will understand that what is getting transmitted. But something is getting transmitted. So what is the concept here? Concept is the process that whatever the data is transmitted through the network, that data, if you wish to get the original data from that, you have to get it reverse. So that concept is remain hidden here. So in that way, what we can do, that we can convert our original data to a meaningless data and then transmit it through open channel. So this process is called the maintaining the data continuity. Now how the original data will get? The original data can be get by the receiver only, because the receiver only knows that he have to rearrange the data from last to first. Yes, so it's a way of confidentiality, process of confidentiality. Caesar, Julius Caesar, you know, Julius Caesar, famous historical king, Julius Caesar. In history, we have read his several activities. So at that time, he used to use the Caesar cipher. Caesar cipher. What was that? There is Caesar cipher. In Caesar cipher, that was shifting the letter 3 next. So suppose my name is Sangram, and if he is sending the message to attack me, so what he will write? Instead of writing my name, what he will write? The S 3 more shift, 3 more right shift. So S T U V. So instead of S, my name will be V. Then A का जगह में रहेगा D. Then N M N P Q R R. So likewise, so it will be getting changed. Is it clear? Means if I will explain, my name is S A N G R A N. So this is the plain text. This is I wish to transfer. This is the plain text I wish to transfer, and I am using the Caesar cipher 3. So what it will happen? S T U V. ये क्या नाम है? D. And then N O P Q. G का G H I J R S T Q. D and M N O P. So this one, instead of transmitting this one through open channel, the sender will send this message through open channel, through network. So this one will be visible to all of you. Now, if you don't have this concept that this is coming from in this way, so then this message will be meaningless to you. This data may be transmitted through open channel or through your road. Then meaningless, you will ignore. Why? Now you can't get the original. What receiver will do? Receiver knows that this is the 3 right shift. So what receiver will do? Receiver and sender has the agreement. He knows that whatever the data we will receive, we have to just do the, before sending, I will do +3, and after receiving, you will do -3. Means 3 left. You will do 3 right, you will do 3 left. So after receiving, you will apply 3 left. Okay, so it will get S, then from D, C, B, A, from Q, P, O, N. So likewise, it will get the plain text. So during here, it is open to all. Everybody can see, but nobody can understand. This is the sender system generating this one, and after receiving, receiver system generating this one. So that is the beauty of mathematics here, to maintain the data confidence.
So these mathematics can be known by the hacker.
Which one?
These mathematics can be known by the hacker.
Yes, hacker. But hacker does not know this one. This 3.
Class 3.
I have done with 3. No, even he may have the awareness that we are using the scissor cipher. Scissor cipher means right and left. Means attacker will try to apply left, means do the left from here. But how many left? That information is not known to the attacker. He will, then what he will do? He will do that the brute force. Trial and error, trial and error. At first 1 apply करेंगे, देखेंगे meaningful आ रहा है कि नहीं. 2 apply करेंगे, देखेंगे meaningful आ रहा है कि नहीं. 3 apply करेंगे, देखेंगे meaningful आ रहा है कि नहीं. Is it clear? So that's why we have to keep यहाँ पे वो concept key. This is the secret information. That is called the key, which should be negotiated between the sender and receiver before initiating any communication. So this should be kept the secret. Okay, so that is the
how this key is generated within the system. I am not generating this key.
Which one?
That key. Suppose I am sending a mail to somebody.
You are not generating, but your system is doing. Your system, that I will come here. That is that the asymmetric key cryptography, public key cryptography. If you will go to your browser, if you will go to your tools, you will see there is the digital certificates, availability of the digital certificates. The digital certificates is uniquely identifying each and every systems. And there is the key pair, public key and private key. Normally that public key is getting used to encrypt and convert these kinds of meaningless message, which is transmitted to the open channel. So there are technical way, but main concept is we will not share our original message through open channel. We will just convert the message to a meaningless message, and that will be available to all of you. Anybody can see, but that will be meaningless. And the receivers will apply, will do the opposite directions, and will get the original message. Now, the attacker who has the intention to know the message, he will try to get it, applying several kinds of process or attack scenario, what I had already discussed, and will try to get the original message. So that is the data confidentiality. Same my example. Suppose I guess you people may are using bank locker. Bank locker is there, I guess, and we normally visiting to access the locker. So whenever we are visiting, carrying our bolts, what we are doing? Grabbing, then maybe either inside the pockets or then bags, likewise, and keeping hard. We are not carrying openly, but whenever you are carrying your book, carrying openly. So that is the type of the data you are sharing. Whenever you are carrying a book, you are carrying openly, but whenever you are carrying the boards, not carrying openly. So that is the standard of the security will apply here based on the importance of the data. So there is some level of security you require. So much important data, so much confidential data, you have to apply the more security. If less vulnerable, then you will use the less security. So that depends. So that is the data confidentiality. Next thing is the data integrity. Data integrity is what? Very important thing. Data integrity is that is maintained by the receiver. This receiver, it is the receiver side and this is the sender side. So receiver must have to be ensured that whatever the data he was expecting, whether he has received same data or not. That is the data integrity. Real life example, very easy, which will be clear, which can clear to you. Suppose you are sending a money, physical cash. I am sending to you, but not directly, through third party. What I will do? I have given to third party, maybe inside the envelope or whatever else, and after receiving, what you will do? Suppose I am sending you 5,000. So 10,500 notes. After receiving, what is your responsibility? You have to check it. You have to count it. When I have to call, I just called you through phone and I told you that I will send you 5,000 rupees. So after receiving, what you, because that is the unknown sender, unknown carrier, your network is not going to, not in your control, that is open, you may be considering it's like road connectivity. So after receiving, you will reject. My expectation to receive the 5,000. Whether I received actually 5,000. So that is the data integrity. What is the means whether it is meets the expectation of the receiver, whether it meets the expectation of the receiver. So that is the preserving the data integrity. Unless until it is not expected, it will be returned. It will not be accepted by the receiver. If it is not matched by you, what it will say to the sender? No, it's not the 5,000. You may, I am just returning. I will not accept. Because why? I am expecting 5,000. But you have said 4,000. Why I will accept? I will not accept. So that is the way. Similarly, if you are submitting the examination marks to your examination cell, and somebody has just changed it, so how it will be getting identified? So to preserve the integrity, what we should do? Now we should use the digital signature. We should use the digital signature. Whenever you are submitting marks to exam cell, being a faculty member, what are you doing? Just putting your sign. Putting your sign in the hard copy, and the examination coordinator just checking whether this signed by that particular faculty member or not. Because he is well aware about your signature. So if there is any false signature, he can easily detect. So that is the way of maintaining the data integrity during transmission. If you will not sign and send it by some of your staffs or somebody else, so he will have the options to change your marks. Yes. So to maintain that thing, maintain the data integrity, we should preserve, we should maintain and use the digital signature techniques in digital. And next thing is that very important, that is that the data availability. Now see, we are providing we are using the data confidentiality technique for which purposes? Now to provide the security of the data during transmission. That means it will be not exposed to all, only receiver can read. Data integrity, it will ensure yes, the right data has been received by the receiver. Now these two, to maintain the secrecy of the data, so whatever I have discussed in the definition, the secrecy of the data. Now to maintain these two, is required some execution mathematical techniques, and that will be converted to a program, and that program has to be executed in background in the system. So that program which one is getting executed, so that program keeps or takes some time for the execution, and it will increase the overhead or burden to the system. So that may hamper the availability of the data. That may hamper the availability of the data. So that's why data availability concept came. What is the concept of the data availability? The data should be available to the right user at the right time. Whenever the genuine user asking to access the data, that data should be available to him. That means imposing these technical concepts should not disturb your data availability. Why it is so important? Why it is so important? Because in our digital domain, the digital concept, we never know to wait. We never know to wait. In physical environment, we may stand in a queue for a hour and hour. Suppose for railway booking tickets, we may stand in a queue and waiting for that. But whenever we are using the IRCTC, we never know to wait. हमें अभी response चाहिए, अभी book ticket book. So that's why data availability should be there, and that should be well maintained. Means whenever the users needs the data, you must have to provide. Suppose for internet or medical things, data is stored in your medical data is stored and doctors is required to access the data for operation purposes. So immediately data should be available. Otherwise, user will not use that systems. So that's why availability must be maintained, and at the same time confidentiality and integrity also be preserved. So these are the basic concepts to achieve the security goal. Next is that the dilemma of security. The problem that we cannot get from in computer security is that we can only have good security if everyone understands what security means and agrees with the need for security. Security is a social problem because it has no meaning until a person defines what it means to them. And in practice, most users have little or no understanding of security. This is our biggest security problem. So, unless until you don't understand the importance of your password, you will expose your password. Unless until it is not clear to you that keeping the PIN number and ATM together or open to all is like just keeping the hard cash open to all. Unless until this concept is not clear to you, you will never be serious on it. You will never be serious on it. So that's why that is our biggest security goal. And that's why each and every cyber crime, the issue is only due to from the human beings. So the meaning of security lies in trust. So here every security problem has this question that who or what do we trust? In our daily lives we place some sort of technology between us and things we don't trust. For example, locking the card, setting the house alarm, giving the credit card number only to cashier, etc. So we decided to trust somebody something to have some sort of security. So we have some same scenario for computer and network systems we use today. That means that suppose it is always advisable that don't provide your credit card cards, but you have to hand over credit card to the cashier. That means what? You are trusting that you will not do your misuse. So maintaining the trust, the cashier also have to maintain the trust. Yes, you will not misuse your credentials. So that should be there in your information security or data security concept in your organization. The administrator who have the access of your server, so it is expected that he is a trusted person. He will not misuse it. Otherwise, whatever the IP and password you are using, everything will be exposed to all. That's why whenever some kinds of big fraud is happening, you will see that banking personals, some of the banking personals are involved there. So that's why all those information is received by them. So that's why we must have to maintain the trust. Next is component of an information system towards the data security. That is, 4 components are there: people, social engineering, procedures. Where people are the biggest threats to information security, as we already discussed, because we are the weakest links. And social engineering, it is a systems that manipulates the action of people in order to obtain information about the system. And then procedures, these are the written blueprints for accomplishing a specific task step by step. So these are the way for maintaining the safe and security of the systems. That is, whenever you are creating an identity or password in any websites, everything are there. Procedures are also there. That is, whichever we are giving just tick marks and moving forward. So everything is written there. That in that systems, in that website, what you have to do, whatever they will take care. Each and every details are there. But we don't have the time to read it, so we are just giving the tick marks and moving forward. So these are the main components to stop or to maintain the unauthorized access by the user. So this is a components of information systems. For your college also, you may have these kinds of systems where the procedures is there, employee and students are the people, some hardware system are there, some softwares are getting used, and your data of the college are getting stored. So these are the components of information systems, and the same systems are used to storage of the data, and that same systems can be used by the hacker to access or illegal access of the So computer can be a subject of the crime, and at the same time, computer can be an object of the crime. Now next thing is that access versus security. So this is very important. That when considering the security, it is important to realize that it is impossible to obtain perfect security. Security is not an absolute. Instead, security should be considered a balance between protection and ability. The first point is very important. That is, it is impossible to obtain the perfect security. Security never be complete. You can't achieve the complete security. Why you can't achieve? Because there is no limit. Suppose you are applying the locks in your main door of your house. Lock is used for which purposes? Now, to safely keep your house. So that the unauthorized person means the person who does not have the key. So those are the unauthorized person. So they are not allowed to enter in your house. Now, you are well aware that if you increase the number of the locks, the security of your house will increase. Yes? So we may apply the 2 locks, we may apply the 3 locks, we may apply the 4 locks, we may apply the 5 locks. So we are well aware that if I will apply the 5 locks in our main door of our house, that will be more secure compared to the applying of the 1 locks. But still, we are using the 1 locks. We have maximum 2 locks. Why? Now, to maintain this thing, balance between the protection and availability. Balance between the protection and the availability. Now, if you will ask me, sir, how? You are saying the right thing. We should apply the 5 locks, we should apply the 10 locks. Then it will be very tough for the thief to break all those locks and to enter my room. But at the same time, it will disturb your availability. How it will disturb your availability? Just imagine the scenario. You were in rush that you have to reach the college at 9 a.m. and just you are apply all 10 locks in your main door and then running to catch the train. And you are already late in time. So at that time, maybe you have realized that you forget to keep your mobile phone with you. And you are already late to catch the train or bus or whatever it is. At that time, you will realize the value of the time. What you have to do? You have to again reopen all the locks, have to take your mobile phone and again apply all the locks. So that is the value of the time. And why I am mentioning this the value of the time? Because in digital world, we have the value of the time. In digital world, we never know to wait. In digital world, we never know to wait. We are getting irritated. If the is moving and it is not getting displayed, same scenario feel here. So that's why the balance should be there between the protection and availability. So that's why always we are not going for the conflict security. We are going for the sufficient security. Sufficient security means just to stop the available attacks, not for the future attacks. Available attacks. So if we avoid that, okay, 2 locks are sufficient, because if the attacker is breaking these 2 locks, so by that time the neighbor will go away. So that is the main concept. So we have to maintain the balance between the protection and availability. So it is possible to have the unrestricted access to a system so that the system is available to anyone, anywhere, anytime, through any means. However, this kind of random access poses a danger to the individual. So second point is also very important. It's saying that is it possible to keep the open door? Means answer should be, sir, if that is the situation, we never know to what. So it is better to not to apply any law. But in that case, you are just keeping your house open to for all persons. So easy access is there. So anyone can enter in your house. So that also we should not follow. So complete security is also not, we should not go, and open to all also we should not go. So what we need? Now we need the balance between the security and access. Security. So too much security might make access hard to get and people will stop using the system, but I already explained. On the other hand, a too easy access protocol might be a security hole for the network. So a balance must be achieved between these 2 major players. So availability will also be maintained, data security will also be. Next, how you can achieve this thing. Means this confidentiality, integrity and availability, how we can achieve. So these are the technical ways by which we can achieve all those things. Encryptions, multiple authentications, firewall and antivirus. So first of all, encryption. It is the process of converting messages, information or data into a form which is unreadable by anyone except the intended recipient. What I already discussed there. So that is that way converting that name, plain text, Sangram to DDQJUTP. So that way, that process is called the encryption process. So we are encrypting the plain text Sangram to cipher text DDQJUTP. So that meaningless message is called the cipher text and the meaningful original message is called the plain text. Converting the message plain text to cipher text is called the encryption. If you will see here, you see the sender have this plain text. It is just transmitting that plain text after applying the encryption. So this encryption process requires two things. One is encryption algorithm and other one is the secret information that is called the key. So encryption is the process and secret key. Now if you ask me this and elaborate on it, whenever you are applying the law, you have the key. Think about that is the key. Although those are different, but just I am just for our easy explain. So maybe that key. So if the any people have got the key, he will be able to unlock it. Now, what is the encryption technique here? Encryption technique is that you have the lock, you have the key, but it will be get locked when? If we will move it left or right, left. So if we move it left, then only locked, it will be locked. And if we move the right, then it will be open. But before, whenever you are applying the lock, at the time if you are trying to do the right one, will it be locked? No. So your encryption algorithm is to moving the key in the left direction. And for decryption, the receiver means who is wish to open the lock, the receiver. What he will do? That he have to move the same key to the right direction. So for decryption or encryption, both things are required. The algorithm is required. That will be common to all. Will be common for each and every locks. You know, left side is lock, right side is not lock. So that will be well over to all. But the secret is what? The key. No lock the key will be same नहीं हो सकता unless until there is the technical issues. Okay? So key is the secret. So if the same key is used by the sender and receiver, only then the data or the lock will be open. So the same concept is applied here also in encryption process. So in encryption process, the algorithm should be there and the key is the secret information. So after on that plain text, the encryption algorithm will run and the key will be applied. Then that will be the meaningless message, cipher text. That the meaningless message, that one, cipher text, and that is getting transmitted to the open channel. These are the open channel, and after receiving, it is decrypted. It is decrypted by the receiver and will get the plain text. So during decryption, the receiver will apply the decryption algorithm and will also apply the same key and will get the plain text. So this is the encryption message. This process is followed during transmission of the data through open channel. Next is what are the modern encryption techniques nowadays is used in our cybersecurity domain. So first one is the symmetric encryption. Next is public encryption. Next is elliptical cryptography. Next is identity-based encryption, and then attribute-based encryption. All are the mathematical concepts. All are coming from the cryptography, and cryptography is the mathematical techniques. So from which we have the same thing. Here also we have used the three as the SIP register of Caesar cipher 3. So that is the SIP register. 3 SIP, no? So 3 SIP we have been 3 right SIP. We we did it, 3 write script. The same thing, that is also a cryptographic algorithm, a cryptographic cipher, Caesar cipher, and background is the mathematics only. The same 3 of each and every letter. So similarly, all of the mathematical concepts, I am just giving you here a brief overview. In symmetric encryption, it uses single key for both encryption and decryption by the sender and receiver. And in order to communicate using this class of cipher, the key must be known to both sender and receiver. So before initiating the communications, the sender and receiver must have to exchange the key. The same key should be there. Same way, whenever you are leaving the room, you are locking your house with a key. The other key is carried by other fellow, only he can. So both should have the same key. If he is applying other key, it will not be open. So symmetric key encryption techniques, the data is getting encrypted using that key, and the same key will be used for the decryption. And next is public encryption. That is our standing procedure. In the present scenario, we are using the maximum time public encryptions for the initial authentication. But data is getting encrypted using the symmetric encryption. So here is required 2 key pair, 2 unique keys per user. One key pair, it contains 2 keys. One called the public key and other called the private key. The public key will be remain public, and the private keys will always remain secret to the user. It's like a identity and password, although not the same thing. But you may think about that. That you may share email ID, some email ID. You have the email ID and the password. You are providing email ID public. In your website also you have written email ID. But password you are never sharing. Never share. So whenever the people are sending the message, what they are doing? They are using that email ID, using your public key to encrypt the message, and after receiving, you are just applying your private key to resend it. Nobody can get the message. So that is the concept of public key encryption here. You see, the sender just applying the encryption algorithm here using the receiver's public key. The receiver to whom you wish to send, his public key is applied here, and the message is getting transmitted to the cipher text. After receiving, the receiver will apply his private key, the same key pair, same part of the key. So it will apply here and it will get the text. So that is the public key encryption technique. Next, this is the theoretical cryptography. Basically, now we are using the RSA algorithms in public key encryption techniques. RSA algorithms we are using, and the next version is that elliptical cryptography. So this is basically the mathematical concept. Each and every cryptography mechanisms are the mathematical concepts. Here also is using the mathematical concept electric curve E over a prime finite field at P. What is required? It's required for since elliptic curve is infinite, and we will do the operations of the elliptic curve. It is required at the prime finite, and there we will operate and will try to find out and maintain the secrecy of the key, because the maintaining the secrecy of the key in cybersecurity domain is very, very important, because if key is getting exposed, everything will be exposed. The same thing, whenever you lost the key of your main door. So if some people got it, then your house will be accessible to him. The same way, if your key is exposed, if your password is exposed, then everything will be exposed to the attacker. So maintaining the secrecy of the key is very, very important in cybersecurity domain. That's why several techniques are getting developed. Elliptical cryptography is one of the techniques in which instead of using the direct numeric numbers, we are using the points, and from that points we are performing some elliptic curve operations and are getting the keys. I am not going in detail here. Why we should use the elliptical cryptography? There are several benefits, because it has the shorter key length. Shorter key length means nowadays we are normally, it is suggested that 1024 bit length key. Bit, you know, 1024 bit length of key is sufficient to protect all kinds of existing attacks. 1024 bit length of key is sufficient for all kinds of existing attacks. But that that key is required to provide some level of security. I told you, complete security is not possible. Some level of security is maintained to provide or to protect against existing attacks. So that level of security could be provided by LP computing using very less number of keys. For example, whatever the security level is provided by the RS algorithms using 104 bit key, that could be provided by ECC algorithm using 160 bit key. So obviously the computational complexity will be reduced and your system will be efficient, and also it will provide the storage and bandwidth savings. These are some mathematical, I will not explain. And next is the identity based encryption. So this is basically, as I mentioned, somebody asked me that how it could be used. Basically, each and every systems we are using the public key crypto systems. So in public key crypto systems, we have the public and private key. And as I told, the public key will be kept open to all, and that will be used by the sender to encrypt the information. Now, question will arise that everything is remain available, publicly available, then how sender will be ensured that this is the genuine public key of the receiver? Whatever the public key is going to use, thinking about that, this is the genuine public key of the receiver. Suppose you wish to send some message to me, so you must have to use my public key, and then question will raise that how it will be ensured that whatever the public key you are using, or I am claiming this is my public key, that is the genuine one, because this is the online connectivity. Neither you are physically present, nor I am physically present in front of you. So online connectivity, you don't know who is sitting beside the computer. So that's why the concept comes the digital certificate. And like the same existing physical certificates, digital certificates is there, it ensures for the identity and the public. Then for this identity, this public. For this identity, this public. And that is getting signed by the trusted third party. That is called the certificate authority or CA. And whenever two systems are getting connected and using public key of the receivers, so it is just normally accessing the public key certificates of the systems and getting it verified whether it is genuine public key or not. And that is totally done by this one. That is the PKI, public key infrastructure. Public key infrastructure. And it needs a separate setup for generation, issuance, or suspension, revocation of the public key certificate. For each and every certificate. Suppose for your Aadhaar, there is the UID. UID officials are there. So that is a complete setup for collecting your biometric, for verification of your information, and then getting signed on your Aadhaar card, digitally signed, and then directly issues to you. At the same time, if you need any kinds of updation, if you need any kinds of cancellation, revocation, all possible ways should be kept by them. So an additional setup is required to maintain your Aadhaar details or issuance of the Aadhaar card. The same way in digital environment also, another setup is required, that is called the public key infrastructure, and that is used to issuance, maintenance, suspension, revocation, updation of the public keys, and that is required in public key domain. Now the identity based encryption is stating that no need of PKI, to reduce the burden of the digital systems. So it will just reduce the memory consumption that is used by the PKI, communications overhead, processing cost for the certificate generation, and connectivity of the certificate authority. Because each and every certificate must have to be getting verified before use. Whenever you are using your Aadhaar details, always it is getting verified. By which? By the OTP. You are receiving the OTP, you are giving the same OTP in the portal, then only your Aadhaar is getting access and you are getting verified. The same way, the connectivity, so that's why what? The Aadhaar details, the server in which your Aadhaar details have been kept, that is always have to be remain online. Otherwise, it will not be possible. Otherwise, you have to wait to receive the password. Yes, the same way the certificate, connectivity of the certificate authority is always required for the verification of the email certificate. So to remove these kinds of disadvantages, we have the identity-based encryption. Here, instead of using the public key kept in the email certificates, the sender will use any information of the receiver as a public key of the receiver. So for example, an email address, a photo, a phone number, postal index number, anything can be used as a public key of the sender, of the receiver. The sender will use that information, will apply the encryption algorithm, will convert the plain text to the receiver and will send it to the receiver. And then, see here example, suppose Amit and Sumit. Amit is the sender, Sumit is the receiver. Sumit is the receiver, Amit is the sender. So Amit has the email ID, Sumit has the email ID. So what it will do, whenever Amit is sending a message, so Amit will not ask for the public key. Amit will directly use the Sumit email ID to encrypt the message. So that message is getting converted to ciphertext, is transmitted to Sumit. Now Sumit had received that the message is getting encrypted by his email ID sumit@xyz.in. So he needs the private key to decipher it. So that's why what he will do? Now he will contact the private key generator center, key generation center, and will ask to provide the private key of the sumit@xyz. And this private key generator will issue the private key to the Sumit. Sumit will then use that private key and will decipher it. So it is reducing the overall burden of the public key infrastructure. But here also the disadvantage, what? Its inherent CSPO problem is there, and key revocation is not there, and the PKG requires the same way. The PKG requires extremely high level of assurance since it holds all private keys and must remain online. Always it must have to be remain online. Why? Now whenever he will receive some message, Sumit will directly contact him to provide with the private key. So that these are the major issues here in identity-based encryption also. Next thing is that, but still this is the advanced one. Still now huge research is going on here in IP and electrical cryptography. If anyone is here who is working in cyber security, you may do the Google search, you will get lots of paper you will get, recent papers. I am also working in this domain, you will get several papers, and there is a huge scope of the work, and you will easily get the good publications also. But contribution should be unique. So these are the recent trends in cybersecurity domain, developing several authentication or encryption mechanisms, encryption protocols. And next, the updated one is the active book-based encryption. It's just providing both, that is that the encryption as well as access control. Here the ciphertext not only necessarily encryption to one particular user, but it is for all. For example, just think about here. Suppose in your college server, being a teacher, you are teaching BTech students, you are also teaching MTech students. Now you are preparing the classrooms and you are keeping just storing it to the server, and students will access the class mode through online. Now you have the two nodes. One is for BTech students, other one is for the MTech students. So each and every data should not be available to all. So that's why access control mechanism is there. So suppose you wish to maintain that BTech nodes will be available to BTech people, MTech nodes will be available to MTech people. Both nodes would be available by all students. Why? Because all students are the registered user of your server. All students have the identity and password. So if they are providing the correct identity and password, so that students is permitted to access the information of that system stored in the system. But you have to restrict it that BTech students only can get, although he is a genuine user, but he will not be able to access the MTech nodes. At the same time, MTech students will not be able to access the BTech nodes. Or computer science students will not be available to access the mechanical nodes, or mechanical students will not be available to the CS nodes. So that's why the attribute based encryption maintaining both security is maintained, that is the confidentiality of the information, that all informations are not available to all, and the access control, that is each and every information is not accessible to all. So security means anyone can't enter in the system, means any people can't enter in your system. He must have the user ID and password by registering himself to the authentic user, and after entering also all nodes should not be accessible to all. So how it is maintained? It's a very common easy example. You will see it's normally maintaining two things. One is attributes and another one is the user credentials. So suppose X is the class nodes. So these X class nodes can be just, we are applying here an attributes for these X nodes can be accessed by CSC and PhD. Suppose in your college you have the department CSC, EC, Physics and Mechanical, and you have the courses PhD, MSc, BE or BTech. And similarly, there are the students, that is the user, and he has the credentials CSC and BE. Similarly, Mechanical, MTech, IT, BTech, likewise. And these nodes X, you have used the attributes that is CSC and PhD. That means that X should be available to those students who are either CSC and PhD or CSC and BE. And here several students are there. These are all the students, and they have the credentials. Suppose U1 is a student whose credentials is Mechanical Engineering BE, U2 CSC PhD, likewise. Now for the first students U1, he has a credential MEBE. Whether it fulfills any one of here, that is CSC and PhD or CSC and BE, no combinations is matched here. So this X content will not be decipherable by the student U1. U1 can't decipher it. Similarly, for U2, you see it has the credentials CSC and PhD. So here the first one CSC and PhD. If you will break it, you will get CSC and PhD or CSC and B. Right? It's a tree structure, CSC and then PhD or B. Likewise. So for U2, user 2, it is clear. For U2, it is possible. So U2 can have the access here. U2 can have the access here. Similarly for U3, it's the ECB, neither match with CSC and PhD nor CSC and B. So U3 will not be able to get it. So these are the concepts, basic concepts of attribute-based encryption. But to achieve it, you have to develop several encryption algorithms, setup phase, key generation phase, encryption process, decryption process. So several processes are there. If you are is genuinely interested, you may have the several research papers. You may go through it. Otherwise, I am always available to discuss with you. There are two types of AV. One is CPAV and another one is KPAV. I am not going into details. Yes. Next, these are the advantages. So obviously for each and every security system, there are the advantages and disadvantages. I am not going into details. Next, I told you there were 5. There are 5. Encryption, authentication, antiviral and antivirus. I told you. Next is the authentication. So encryption is over. Next is authentication. What is authentication? I hope everyone has in concept. Authentication is very common nowadays. Authentication is a process or mechanism to what?
Identity.
Yes, to verify your identity or to verify that you are the genuine user of the system. You are the genuine user of the system. So it's a process and mechanism to verify you are a genuine user, part of the system. Suppose you are trying to enter into this college. The college security guard has the power to stop you. Has the power to stop you. That is instructed by the authority. So how you will be allowed to enter? You have to show your participation card. Yes, although I am not an employee of these institutions, but these certificates I have. This is my authenticity documents. So based on that, he will say yes, he is the participants of the ongoing program. So that's why you will be allowed to enter. If the program will be X, after that if you will see, then also the security guard will not give you the permission to enter the campus. So the way, that is that you are just showing your documents to enter into the campus. So that process is called the authentication process. So whenever you are providing your identity and password, and then only server is checking that whether you have provided the right information or not. So then only if you are providing the right information, you will be allowed to enter in the systems, access the server, otherwise not. So that is the authentication process. There are several ways of authentication processes there. If you have only one information, means suppose you are showing your identity card, that means something you have, user has. So that is called the one-factor authentication process. One-factor authentication process. Something user has. And if we are increasing the more security, this is the very common. Anyone can legitimate it. Your identity, whatever the participation card you are holding, anyone can copy it and can represent himself as a genuine user and can come here. So to strengthen the security, what we should do? Now we can incorporate one more factor. What is the user something has and user something knows. User something knows, some secret information. I will not share with anyone. For example, ATM card and PIN. ATM card, something you have, and PIN, password, that is memorized by you. You are not never sharing this thing. So that is the two-factor authentication process. Whenever you are withdrawing the cash from ATM machine, you are performing the two-factor authentication process to authenticate yourself to the bank server. So that is the two-factor authentication process. Similarly, to make it more harder, what you are doing, the biometric can be used. Biometric can be used. So three-factor authentication. That is something user has, that is the card or the ATM. Something you knows, that is the PIN number or password, and something you are, means user is, that is fingerprint, retinal scan, blood vessels, everything. Any kinds of biometric, any kinds of biological component. So that is the three-factor authentication. So based on that, modern authentication techniques have been developed, and it's required several kinds of authentication tokens, whatever I have already explained. So that could be PCI coprocessor, credit card, fingerprint. So these are used for proper authentications. These are several biometric devices which is used for authentication purposes. That is the retinal scanner, voice recognition, and also biometric devices. These are very common for banking bank branches. You will see, and here also maybe for attendance purposes biometric is used. Biometric devices is used, and blood vessels also could be there. Next important thing, that is the firewall. It is also one of the major component to maintain the cyber security. A network security device that monitors and filters incoming and outgoing network traffic based on the security policies. So sometimes you will see whenever you are using your institute network, so sometimes you are typing some or trying to visit some websites, but it is not allowing you because there are the restrictions in firewall. But whenever you are using from your mobile phone, you will get this permission. So that could be restricted. That could be restricted, means incoming traffic and outgoing traffic can be restricted using the firewall or also intrusion detection systems. So that is also a way of providing the security. And last and the foremost, we are very short in time. Last and foremost, this is the basic concepts that what we should do and what we should not do in our day-to-day activity to maintain the cyber security or data security or information security. So I just listed some messages here. This is not only for your awareness. This message should be shared with your students too, because what I earlier discussed, that the major cause, the root cause of any cyber attacks is the unawareness of the human beings. The human beings are very casual and they are never aware on it, then what they should do, what they should not do. First thing, enable multiple authentications, log out after each online session. Normally we are not doing, just closing the browser instead of logging out my email ID, right? So log out after each online session, change your password regularly. Now it is mandatory for some banking websites. Then always you have to change your passwords regularly. Then passwords must include uppercase, numbers and special characters. So it will make it harder to stop the brute force attack. So it will make it harder. Next, make password hard to guess. Hard to guess means you should not use your name, father name, mother name, date of birth, etc. as a password, because these are very common to your known people. They can easily guess it. So you have to must make it harder to guess. What you should not do, use the same password for multiple accounts. That is our biggest loophole. Nowadays we have several accounts and we are using the same passwords, right? So you should not do it. You may use several techniques for the purposes. Maybe you are using the same passwords, but use some kinds of special characters and some kinds of specific symbol. About Facebook, FCD, password is the same, but some special characters, 1 or 2, and then some kinds of specific for your easy understanding. You may use it instead of directly using the same password. Use the obvious things like a pet name, street name, etc. as your password. Use dictionary words in a password. Dictionary word you should not use because it's easy to detect in brute force. Use short or simple password. ABC@123. Maximum people have the passwords. ABC@123. You should not use it. Or first name, last name @123 or 1 to 9 maybe. Click on the link in email or message you are not sure with. You should not use. You should not click. they click करके देखते हैं क्या होता है. No, you should not click. Especially for those messages which is giving you the prizes or gifts or lottery. So in our reality, it is you can't get anything free of cost. Okay. So whenever you are getting some lottery, first question you should raise in your mind, why only me? Why me? Why not others? ऐसा मैंने क्या कर दिया कि मेरा बस लॉटरी किया गया. So should not cling on there. Portable device security, that is create strong password. Use two-factor or multi-factor authentications for your portable device. Adjust device and browser settings. Keep operating systems and applications updated. Always you should do update. Even in your phone also. You should always update your applications. Don't install apps from the third-party portals. And don't use open Wi-Fi networks. Although the Wi-Fi networks is free, open Wi-Fi networks, but it is always advisable not to use. Nowadays in Indian scenario, the data is very cheap. You never imagine, although we are just trying that the service providers are increasing the rate of the data, but comparing to the other country, in India, the data rate is very cheap. You are getting the data very cheap comparing to the developed country also. So always try to use your phone data instead of using the Wi-Fi, unless until that is the source is known to you. And next thing is that auto-lock your phone to maintain your security. Review applications permission. Whenever you are installing some applications, it will ask you. Or whenever you are installing some applications and some added software or added applications is there, it will also ask you to install. But not only we ignore and clicking the tick button and moving forward. So that we should not do. Block the unknown numbers. Whenever you are receiving some unknown calls, nowadays Ministry of Electronics and IT also developed a portal in which you may enter that number also. So at first you should do block that number from your phone at first, so that it can again call you back. And next thing, you may lodge the complaint or insert the number to the portal instead of electronic. So that you can do, and secure your phone physically. So you should secure your phone physically so that if you lost your phone, data should not be available to that person. So for social media security, first one, think before you post. Do not post any personal information such as your full bio, birthday, that could fall into the wrong hands and be used against you. So always remember before writing that writing anything is permanent. whatever you are writing, that is permanent. Maybe you are deleting at that moment, but the attacker who has the wrong intention, he will take the screenshot within the fraction of time. So don't write anything, and if you are writing, think before you write. You must speak anything. If there is no recording, oh, how we will get? So you may speak anything, but don't write everything. Use strong, diverse password. As I already mentioned, so password should be strong and diverse. Use privacy settings for each and every website or each and every application. There is the privacy. For example, location access. You may provide the permission to applications to access your current location, and you may not. That depends. So basically, it is advisable just go for that whenever you are using that applications. Otherwise, it will not access your location. So that are the process by which the several companies and the service providers are getting your information and showing you or feeding you their advertisement based on that only. Next thing is that be image conscious. So make sure your social media image is what you want. It will be for future reference. So whatever for future reference means, whatever you are posting, you should think about that it will be stored there, and later on that will be created in your image. So these are the main things you must have to maintain, and do not assume your social media is private because that is open to all. Do not share your location, as I already told. Share content with fewer people. There is the way options in your social media also. You may restrict that who can see your post, and do not accept a friend request from someone you do not know. So that are the advices. For online banking safety, always set up a strong password for your online bank account, and for each and every website you may use the same password. But please don't use the same password for your online banking. Please keep a completely different password for the banking websites. Avoid opening promotional email and links sent from different bank and phishing email, as I already told, like you have won the lottery or etc. Always just mark it as a spam. No need to open, not to be curious. Avoid paying online on random websites. Unless until the website is known to you should not pay. Block your card immediately if you lose it. If you lost your ATM card or credit card or anything information, there is the customer care number. Immediately you should call and block it, so that the attacker will not have the time to use it. Avoid public internet connection or keep checking your last log and keep checking your last login. For each and every emails or each and every website whenever you are using, there is an option to see the last activity. For example, for Gmail, at the bottom right side bottom, you will see the last activities. You will click there, it will show you from which device at what time you have access. So you can easily finding out if any unexpected things that will happen. Keep updating your computer and mobile security, and avoid sharing your banking information with anyone. जो भी हो जाए, account freeze, ATM card block, but never share your OTP. Never. OTP means you are just handing over your cash to other people. Just imagine in that way. You are sharing OTP. How important it is. Just forget. Don't share your OTP. Even PMO, President of India, is calling you to share your OTP. Don't share. You have the rights not to share. So that is the major important things, and this is the major reason for all kinds of financial frauds. Major reasons. At first we are doing, and later we are realizing what happens. And bank may have to present that, and they have to say that because we are sending you the repeated reminders not to share. But still we are doing this. So for ATM safety also, we are very casual nowadays, but we should maintain guard your PIN whenever you are entering the PIN, and handle your transactions personally, not to take any help from others. Protect your ATM card as it is cash. Same importance you should give, like hard cash to the ATM card. Be alert and think of your own safety when using an ATM, and check ATM for any foreign devices attached, some kinds of keyboard or anything else with the keypad, and keep records of your transaction. So frequently or monthly you can check your bank statement. whether everything has been performed by you or not. So these are the advices. And the last one, in the image you may see, you have the rights to instruct, not to request, to instruct the person standing behind you to stay outside the room. That is your rights. Whenever the ATM card has been issued to you by the bank, that the bank is also agreed on that point. And you have also signed on that. So you have the options to instruct. Please stay outside, let me finish, and then you will. So these are the ATM safeties, and these are the browsing security. Set up the security configuration of the social network accounts. That is, for example, in Facebook, you can prohibit third-party companies to collect your data. Sometimes we are giving the tip, not to feed the tip. Not allow third-party to collect your data. Publish minimum information in social networks. Select only proven online trading platform. If you are doing trading, then select the online particular trading platforms. Always make sure that the web pages you visit are HTTPS. S is very important. If the website, in websites portal there is no S, that means you are just sharing your secret information to unknown. So if HTTPS is not there, you will not use that website. You will not use that website. That is the secure HTTP protocol. And sometimes you will see the green there. If green, then only you will use. Otherwise, not. Some browser it shows the green. Make install additional protections against unauthorized logging into your account. If it is providing additional protections, you should enable this thing. Disable collecting cookies by web pages. Not to provide always means use always cookies, accept all cookies, not to require. Make it a habit to regularly change your password. So you should regularly change your password. Nowadays, banking websites take it mandatory to regularly update. But for other sites also, suppose Gmail, Facebook, you should regularly update. Do not use public Wi-Fi hotspot. Keep track of where and when you enter your account and be anonymous on the network. So there is an option in browser, that is the incognito. That is the option incognito mode. So whenever you are using the web browser, you should use the incognito mode. For which purposes? For some sensitive information. If you are using the online banking, you should go for the incognito. If you are incognito, normally in Google Chrome, for Google Chrome, the right top, there is 3 dots. You will click there, you will get incognito mode. So if you will right click on the incognito mode, the new web browser, Google Chrome, but it will be open there. But it will not give you any track record or even in history. In normal Google Chrome, whatever you have searched, the history will be stored there. But in incognito, the history will not be there. Even suppose you are checking the flight fare. If you will check the same flight on the same day 2-3 times, the fare will be automatically increased. I don't know if you are a frequent user of the flight, then obviously you realize it. Suppose for Indigo, you are searching, just search 2 or 3 times, fare will be increased automatically. Why? From that server it is getting tracked that these people have searched 3 times, means he is going to book the tickets. So automatically this is the business policy. They will increase it. The fare will be enhanced. But if you will use the incognito mode, that will not be found, that is tracked. So these are the several kinds. Suppose advertisement, you just do the search in the Google Chrome. Someone for this is very hilarious. You just type the you wish to price of the helicopter. Just type next from next search onwards, you will see the several helicopters price list and helicopter list. You search for the car, you will see. So this is what because whatever we are searching, the data is getting collected, and nowadays the several techniques, several technological advancement is there, data analytics is there, and based on that, your activity is getting collected, and accordingly, as per the business policy, you are getting figure. And from there you will choose. So you have some interest that is getting realized, and automatically people are coming. Just like if you are thinking or asked some friends, that, or suppose you are posting that I wish to do the LIC. You will see several people who are the LIC agents will contact you. In the same way, just in online media also, you just search any information, you will receive the same type of advertisement for your person. So these are the several advices for online safeties. These are the some advices for password and net surfing, etc. So as I discussed, that everything will be in cyberspace and that will be covered by the hierarchy of computers, and our data will be safely stored in the devices, and the devices are connected through the networks. So what happens now? Each and everything will be, the days is coming where each and every information are kept in the cyberspace. So we must have to be well aware about the data security or cyber security or information security. So these are the things, and as the Charles Darwin mentioned, the survival of the fittest was responsible to change. Why? In cyber security domain, as I mentioned, we are not providing any complete security. We are providing the sufficient security. So today we don't know which attack is coming or which attack will be developed. So that's why always we have to be fittest for survival, and we need the change. We require the new technology. So that's why you must have to update your hardware, you must have to update your softwares, applications, and as well as your antivirus also. So that's why always it is recommended to update it, because you don't know that which attacks is newly developed, and whatever the attacks is newly developed, to protect that attacks, new patch will be there, new update will be there for the antivirus. So you have to accept it and to install it. So that's all. I guess I finished here. Yes, thank you. So any informations? Any confusion among you people? Anything?
Sir,
Yes.
how we can use data science for the cyber security?
Data?
Science for the cyber security?
Data science for cyber security. Actually, data science is different domain.
Or data analytics in cyber security, how we can?
Data analytics also means actually what I say, the data science or data analytics. So its aim is different, and the cyber security aim is different. But here, based on the activities of the data, sometimes based on the intelligence or access of the data, some kinds of attack could be possible. But basically, in my job, I focused on the data security. Means neither the data analytics nor the data science. So data science is different domain. Data analytics also partially different domain, and cyber security is also different domain. But if you wish to link it, then I should say that here I am providing the security of the data during storage and transmission. But at the same time, based on the analysis of the data, attack could be possible, and some of them I also explained. Suppose for social engineering attacks. In social engineering attacks also, where you are visiting, whatever the websites you are accessing, and what kinds of information you need. So based on that, the attack will be possible. So directly you can't link it, but these are the several domains. Anything else? Any conclusion? The people who are here and working in the cybersecurity domain, if they require any further information, they will contact here in my email IDs, or may visit my Google Scholar profile. There also you will get several technical prospects and technical research paper in my Google Scholar profile also. Several authentication mechanisms, several encryption mechanisms, preserving the CIA goals, confidentiality, integrity, and also applications in several domains. Suppose IoT, very common. So how we can provide the security to IoT during the data storage, or during data transmission, or during the data access. Similarly, several cloud security, edge computing, fog computing, or even nowadays the quantum era, the post-quantum cryptography. If the quantum computation comes, each and every available security techniques will be there. Each and every will be open to us. So that's why in parallel of quantum computations, post-quantum cryptography also come. So that in quantum era also the data remain safe and secure. But all are not in laboratory stage, all are in a theoretical stage. Experiment is going on, theoretical algorithms is getting developed, and later on maybe when the quantum computer will be developed, this one will also come in laboratory. So that's all. No, I am very much sorry. I am already late. Although I was forced to late for 1 hour. It was scheduled for 2 p.m. right? But I started at 3:15 or like that. But anyhow, I completed within 5. But the ordering sequence should be to complete within 4:45. 15 minutes late, I guess.
So for this session, we get the conclude that in the digital era, data has become a critical asset. The increasing volume and variety of data have also applied the risk associated with the security during storage and transmission. The talk explored the key challenges in data and cybersecurity, including data and cyber breaches, insider threats, privacy concerns, etc. As the cyber threats continues to grow, the sophistication, a proactive, adaptive, and multi-layered security approach is essential to safeguard the data confidentiality and availability. Hence, the talk also highlights involving solutions such as several authentication and encryption mechanisms